My name is Lesléa Newman, and I am the author of Alicia and the Hurricane, A Story of Puerto Rico, Alicia y el huracán, un cuento de Puerto Rico. So there's my book right behind me, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It was beautifully illustrated by Elizabeth Erazo Baez, and it was published by Lee and Low. So why did I write this book? Well, I am married to someone who is from Bayamón, Puerto Rico, and I live in a town called Holyoke, Massachusetts, whose population is more than 50% Puerto Rican. So Puerto Rico and Puerto Rican culture is very important to me. One day in 2017, a terrible Hurricane Maria, devastated the island of Puerto Rico. People lost their homes, people lost power for months. It was just a terrible thing. And many people came to live in Holyoke because we have such a large Puerto Rican population. And so I was trying to think of what I could do to help besides donate money and donate goods. And I thought, well, I'm a children's book writer. I think I will write a children's book to give hope to the children of Puerto Rico whose lives have been so drastically changed by this hurricane. So one day, my spouse and I were sitting at the kitchen table reading about the effects of Hurricane Maria, and my spouse looked at me and said, "What about the coquís?" Now, if you don't know, the coquí is a little tree frog, and it's a very special tree frog. Here is, I don't know if you can see this tiny little frog. It's not a real frog. I've never seen a real one. They're very hard to see, but you see it's about the size of my thumbnail, right? It's very, very tiny, but it has a very, very big voice. And the coquís sing all night long, though when I did my research, I found out that only the males sing. So their song is very beautiful. And whenever my spouse and I visit Puerto Rico, we hear the frogs sing and we know that we are home. And the coquí has become a cultural symbol of Puerto Rico for centuries. And their singing voice is very distinct. So I'm going to play it for you. So listen to this. So you heard that two-tone coquí, coquí. So that's what you hear all over the island. So in my book, Alicia loves the sound of the coquís. They sing her to sleep every night. And in fact, her parents say, hop into bed like a little frog and listen to the coquís. But when the hurricane comes and Alicia has to take shelter with her family, she does not hear the coquís. She hears grown-ups snoring, she hears babies crying, but she doesn't hear the coquís. And then later on, when the storm really hits, she hears rain pounding and she hears wind howling, but she doesn't hear the coquís. And then after the storm is over and she and her family emerge from the shelter, they hear silence. And she wonders, is she ever going to hear the coquís again? And it's a little bit of a spoiler, but she does hear the coquís from off in the distance singing to her, and that fills her heart with hope. And she knows that everything will be okay because her family is still together. They can rebuild their home. The community pitches in. They all help each other. And the Puerto Rican community really rallies to get back to where they were before. So that is a little bit about my book, Alicia and the Hurricane. It's a bilingual book, so it's written in English and translated into Spanish. And there's an author's note that tells you a little bit about the history of Puerto Rico, a little bit about the frogs, a little bit about the hurricanes. So I hope you enjoy it and learn something from it. And most of all, I hope you will remember the sound of the coquís, which just is such a wonderful sound. So we'll end with the coquís singing.